Okay, so hello again, guys. So while waiting for the others, do you guys have a question so far or clarification? Okay, so were you guys already there? Hello? Can you
Sure.
guys? All right. So any question so far? Question or clarification? All right. So I guess none, since no one is speaking or writing something. Anyway, are you guys ready now to continue our discussion?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So thank you for those who are, responding. I really appreciate it. Okay. So we have here another syntax for if statement. So this is actually the complete version of if statement. So in here, we have two conditions now. Actually, it's not limited to two conditions. So you can add as many conditions as you want. Okay. So in here, if conditional statement is true, then this will be initiated. However, if this is not true, then it will look for another condition. So this is another condition wherein if this is true, then the code right here will be initiated. And let's say this one is not true. This one is still not true. So if none of those conditions were true, then it will fall on the false code right here, or this one will be executed instead. So regardless of the result, so it's true or false, or so it will give us a result. Okay. So in here, you can add as many conditional statement as you want. Just take note with the syntax. Okay. So the first one is if. Okay, and then the second condition is else if. If you want to add another condition right here is still else if. Okay. And then the last one, okay, or the last condition will always be else. Okay. So this is an indicator that this is already the ending, okay, or the last uh, code, okay, of your if condition. So this is the false statement or the false argument. Okay. And then lastly, of course, is the end if. All right, so let's have an example. So again, you don't need to know what is the output of this one or what is the result. So again, if this condition is true, then these two arguments or statement will be executed. Okay. And if this is not true, okay, then it will proceed to the other condition. So if this is true, then this will be executed. So if none of those were true, then this will be executed. Okay, the false code right here. Okay, so of course it will read from top to bottom. Okay, so it will look for true condition. And if none of those were true, then it will fall on our else condition. Okay, so this is our false condition. So are we clear so far regarding with the if, else, and if condition? Okay, so very good, Mr. Masweng. Okay, very good too, Miss Eliza. Okay, so let's have this example. Okay, very good, Mr. Zadrex. Okay, so let's have this as sample problem number 11 for me to be able to show this kind of syntax. So create a view project that enables the user to input shape names using a text box. So right here, so you can type any name. Okay, it could be circle, triangle, square, pentagon, etc., etc., and display the number of sides the inputted shape has. So for example, nonagon has 9 sides, so yeah, something like that. And if the text doesn't match one of these shapes, then display not a valid shape. Okay. So whatever is the shapes that is covered by our program, then that is the one that will only show. Okay. So in here, it's actually limited to 10 only, up to decagon only. And then if you put here undecagon, which is the 11 side, so it will give us the result of invalid inputted shape because it wasn't part of our program. Okay. So in here, I have already created this one, I guess. Sample problem number 11. All right, so there you go. So we have here the interface. So I'll just put here the name and then the number of sides. And this is the one that we're going to program, okay, the button. So in here, you've just declared shape, okay? So it is just a variable and it is a string. And in here, whatever is the value of text box 1 will be passed to the variable shape. Okay, and as you guys can see, it's on the format of UCase. So UCase again is uppercase function or format wherein whatever is the input will be transformed into capital letter or everything will be in capital letter, so that it's not that case sensitive. So because if you'll put here small letter C, so that's already different with the capital letter C. So to avoid that one, we use uppercase instead to avoid that kind of case sensitive. So in here, we've started with circle. So circle doesn't have any sides, so it's 0. So else if, this is another condition, so triangle, which is 3. And if those two are not true, then we'll proceed to the next one. So square or rectangle, then it will give us 4. Okay. And pentagon is 5, and so on and so forth, up to 12. So in here, I've included the 11 hendecagon or undecagon. So if this one has 3 names, undecagon or hendecagon or duo, I forgot, is it duodecagon? So this one, hendecagon is 11, and then dodecagon is 12. And then if I put here, let's say the third one, tridecagon, I forget the name. So it will give us a result of invalid inputted shape. Okay, because it is not part of our program anymore. Okay, so let me show to you guys how this one works. So if we have circle right here, so again, even though this one is a small, this will be transformed into uppercase. So it will match this one, the all capital circle. So circle has 0 side, square is 4, and decagon is 10. Okay, and then you, let's say you mistype something. Okay, let's say you accidentally added s, so of course it will give us a message invalid inputted shape because there is no shape decagon, or this one is not part of our program. Okay, so it should be exactly the same of whatever is the spelling of that one. Okay, so are we clear so far? Were you guys able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Mr. Flores. How about the others? Okay, very good, Mr. Antero, Mr. Christian. All right, so very good, guys. Okay, so let us now proceed to the next one, sample problem number 11B. Okay, so this one, I will not show this one to you guys anymore since this is the same with sample problem number 11. Okay, 11A to be exact. But in here, it's just that instead of, putting the text, I mean, putting the word into a text box, so we will just check the radio button. Okay, So we have radio buttons here. Let's say just highlight this one, dodecagon, and it will give you the number of sides of that shape. So here's the sample code of this one. So if radio button 1, that check is equal to true, then it will display 0. If radio button 2, the check is true, then it will display 3. So it will just look for a check radio button. Okay. And yeah, up to 12. Okay. So if you cannot find the number of shapes that you're looking for, let's say 13 or 14, then it's just that it's not part of the program. All right. So are we good with sample problem number 11B? Hello? So is it okay if I will not show this one to you guys anymore since we don't have enough time, and this one is super similar with sample problem number 11. Okay. All right, so coming from Miss Eliza, so she said that it's right again. And then Mr. Antara gives me a thumbs up. Okay, so if to the others who are not responding, so I hope that you guys were able to follow this one. And if you guys wasn't able to follow this one, so let me know. Okay, so we can discuss the part where you didn't understand. Okay, all right. So let's proceed to the sample problem number 12. So here you were hired by Pagcor as part of programming team in charge of automating its bingo game. So your task is to write a program that will accept an integer whose value is 1 to 75. So those who are playing bingo, so you guys already know this one, so 1 to 75. So your program should determine and print the letter that corresponds to that number. So 1 to 15 is B, 16 to 30 is I, 31 to 45 is N, and 45 to 60 is G, and then 61 to 75 is O, right? And then it says here, your program should determine and print the letter that corresponds to that number. So our input will be a number, and then it will give us a equivalent letter, okay, regarding with this range. So here's the sample interface. So in here, we're going to use numeric up down, so we can easily increment and decrement the value of the number that is inside of it. Okay, and then it will display the equivalent letter. Like for example, 34 is letter N. Okay, so I have already created this one. Sample problem number 12. All right, so right here, 1 to 15 is letter B, 16 to 30 is letter I, 31 to 45 is N, 46 to 60 is G, and if none of those were true, it will always fall on O. Okay, this one is actually O, not 0. Right. So let me show this one to you guys. So numeric up down, and this is just a big text box. So 1 is B, up to 15, and then 16 and up to 30 is letter I, and 31 to 45 is letter N, and 46, where is it, 46? 60, yeah, 46 to 60 is letter G, and then 61 and above is letter O. All right, so as you guys can see, this one has an infinite number. Okay, so in here, even though this is already 98, so it will still fall on letter O, since it says here that if none of those were true, so if it's more than 60, or let's say even -1, okay, because it's not part of the range of letter B, it will give us, no. So you have to program this one, I forgot, for this to be able to accept negative numbers. All right. So yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 12. So number 12, yeah, number 12. Okay. So were you guys able to follow this one? Are we clear with sample problem number 12?
Sir, paano kapag yung max naman nung O ulit, hanggang 75 lang?
If you want to limit it up to 75 only,
Yes, sir.
okay, then let's just add another condition. So else if else if 61 to 75, then it will give us a result of 0. I mean O, not 0. Else, you could show it to a message box as a warning, or to say not within the range of bingo, bingo numbers. How do you call that one? Let's just say something like that. Okay. So if we have 75, 74, okay, so it will give us O. However, if it's if it reached 76 and above, then it will say not within the range of bingo numbers. Okay. So this is
Okay,
one
sir.
way for
Thank you,
you
sir.
to limit the range of the number right here. So was I able to answer your question, Mr. M. Darlson?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So that actually completely depends on your program. So you can modify this one more time, just to limit it from, or you can start with 1 instead of 0, because in here, if we will put 0, no. Okay, so it already fall. Okay, it already fall on the this condition since our starting is 1. Okay, so 0 is considered not within the range since we don't have 0 in bingo. All right, so yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 12. So here's the code of this one. And we have here random numbers. Okay, so for you to be able to generate a random number in uh, Visual Basic, you just need to know this function, RND. Okay, and this is just a variable, so you can put it on any variable or any component, let's say text box, and then as long as you have this one, this will generate a random number. Okay, so for example, we have this one right here. It has this code to beam as a single, wherein S is equal to round or RND. So upon clicking this button, this RND will be initiated and then will be displayed to text box S. Okay, so right here, whatever is the value of your S will be displayed to text box. Okay, which is this one. So as you guys can see, gives us a number of 0.7055475. So this RND is only generating a number from 0 to 1. Okay, so 0.01 to 0.99. So if you want to have, let's say, a whole number, let's say 1 and up to 100, then you have to multiply this 1 by 100. Okay, if you want to 1 to 1,000, then you have to multiply this 1 by 1,000. Okay, so in that case, it will display uh, up to 1,000 or up to 100. So it depends on your program. Okay, and one flaw, okay, or one problem of this RND function is the first number or the first generated number will always be the same, which is 0.755475. So if I will show this one to you guys right now, let me just create a new project. The RND function. All right, so in here we need text box, a very big text box. with a size of, let's say, 6, and one button with a size of 40. Generate a random number. There we go. So we'll program this one. I'll just paste this one. So declare s as single, and then whatever is the value of your s will go to our text box one text. So text box one is this one. All right. So as you guys can see, oops. There you go. So as you guys can see, it will always start with 0.7555475. But the rest, of course, is already random. So it's unpredictable already. But the first one is always 0.7255475. Okay, that's just one major problem. And again, if you want to display a whole number, then just multiply this one 100 times 100. Okay, so in that case, it will give you a whole number. So 1 up to 99. Okay. So if you want to accept only whole number, then declare this one as integer. Okay, so that it will not give us a result of a decimal. So 100, 0. Oops. Why is it 0 to? I see. So since it's ranging, so this is a problem also. So you have to modify it in here. So you have to format, since this one is only giving us 0 to 1, right? So the whole number is 0 and 1. So that is why it's only giving us a 0 and 100. So cannot do times 100. So in here, you still have to declare this one as single. Okay, to give us a result of that, I mean decimal. But in here, you have to format this one, and will only accept 2 decimals. Okay, or just like that. For this to accept 0 decimal. Oh, still 1. Format as 0, dim as a single. Already declared as a single. Let's see. How about limiting it to 2 decimals for now? And multiply this one by 100. There you go. Okay. So in that case, you can have a whole number only, a random whole number. So you have to format this one by 0.00, wherein it will only give us a whole number, and multiply this one by 100, since it's only giving us 0 point something. Okay. So are we clear so far with the randomizer?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in here, we can actually have a remedy wherein this will not display, or this will not start with 0.7055475. Okay, all to do is add this another function. So we have RNB as a function for randomizer, and we have randomize wherein another function to give us a random number. So in here, we're just basically randomizing the randomizer. So it's a double randomizer. Okay. So just add this one to your code. Oops. So just add this one above of your code. So in here, it will not give us 75. Okay. So it's now random. So this one is 68. Let's see if it will change. There you go. So it now changed into 68 and 63. Okay, one more time. Okay, give us 9. So it's now an official randomizer. So we cannot read what is the next generated number of this one. Okay, so in here we just added a randomizer for this one to get randomized. Okay, so in here we have alternative solution to bingo. Okay, so instead of using a numeric up down, we'll just use a randomizer for this one, and then the equivalent letter will be displayed onto your text box. Okay, so this is still the same. So use a random number to generate numbers from 1 to 75. So if the number generated is greater than 75, then use go to command to repeat randomizing another number. And use a button to display the random number and its equivalent bingo letter. Okay, so take note that our randomizer can generate up to 99. So 1 to 99, right? And in bingo, it's only ranging from 1 to 75. Now, if it's not within the range, let's say 76 to 99, we have this another function called go to, wherein if just wait a second. Sage. All right, so sorry for that. So in here, if it exceeds the number 75, let's say 76 to 99, then it will just go back to the randomizer and then it will generate another random number. Okay, so we have this solution right here. So let me just copy this one for you guys and create a new project. So this is sample problem solution to bingo. So no number. Alternative. So this is a quite long name. So there is a question, sir, pwede din ba yung R&D sa words? It's possible, but it's difficult. Like you guys have already learned binary numbers, right? So we can generate a random, 4 random binary numbers, and we can create 1 to 16. So it's only 16 characters. So yeah, and it's not accurate. Okay? It's a long programming, but it's possible, but it's difficult. Okay, so you have to generate one random number. Okay, so let's say 1 to 16 for 4-bit, and then 1 to 32 for 5-bit, okay, and so on and so forth. So it will, there's a lot of possibilities up to 256 because we have up to 200 plus characters in our keyboard. So it will be a long programming. Okay, and then it's really, really difficult to do. Okay, so a randomizer is only ideal for numbers. All right. Okay. All right. So you're welcome, Mr. Flores. Okay. So we have a button, 2 label, and 2 text box. Okay. So we need 2 text box. We also need 2 and button. So right here we have generated number, and we have here the equivalent letter. right here we have the generate the random number. Okay, so for some flavors, I'll just add some back color. There you go. And also add some back colors right here, of course. So let's say blue one. All right, and we have the code right here. Okay, so let me just fix this one. So this is the variable rep. Okay, actually not a variable. It's just a word rep, wherein whatever is the word right here, it will go back to that word. Okay, if it cannot find x as integer, so I missed the one. X, x is less than 75, then right, then text box to the text. Right, what happened right here? And x is that's equal to 75. I see. So that's what happened. Hmm, X right here. If x and if go to rep. There you go. So there is a correction in here. So this one shouldn't have a space. Okay. So this one should be a one word only. One word go to. Okay. So here's the first condition. So if the value of x will fall, okay, from 1 to 75, okay, or less than 75, okay, then it will initiate those another condition. However, if it's not within the range of 75, let's say 76 and above, then it will go to else. So in here, we can have if or another if inside if. Okay, so that's possible. Okay, so you can have that one, like for example, this one. Okay, so again, if this is false, then it will lead to the go to rep. So what is this go to rep? It will just go back to this line of code. So a number line of code. So it will generate a random number again, and then it will go back right here. So once this one now is true, then it will initiate one of those conditions. So depending on the range of the number. So 1 to 15 is B, 16 to 30 is I, etc., etc. Okay, so let's see how this one works. So generate a random number. So you will never see a 76 and above right here, because as soon as it receive a 76 of result, it will generate a new number again until this one will become true. Okay, so there you go. Right. So yeah, that's how this one work. So are we clear so far regarding with this one? No, guys. Any questions so far?
None, sir.
All right. So if you guys have
None,
a
sir.
question, so just ask me anytime. Okay. So one thing that I always do is I always add a exit button right here. So the program, the code of this one is super easy. So you guys can also do this one as always in every program of yours. So every time you click this one, of course, it will close the program. So the code of that one is me.close. Simple as that. All right. So you can always add that one to your program. Okay. So moving on, need the next one. So in here, you can actually limit it already right here just by adding this function. So x is equal to number that next 25, meaning your x will only generate 25 characters. Okay, and that 25 characters will start from 0, okay, and then will end to 24, of course, since 0 to 24 is already 25 characters. Okay, so instead of doing this one, okay, go to rep. So you can actually do this one instead. So we have a lot of ways for you to be able to limit the range of number. So to do this one, just remove the above, the randomize, and then instead of having go to rep, okay, we have now go to next. Okay, so yeah, in here it will only generate 1 to 75. All right. So yeah, this is another solution. So I will not show this one to you guys anymore since we don't have enough time anymore. So we'll just continue the rest on part 3, which is the select case statement. So for now, we will stop right here and then yeah, continue the remaining slides on part 3. All right. So goodbye and see you guys later.